There we go. Now we're live. Hello, good sirs. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Endeavour News. Great to see you here this weekend. I'm Hector with my co-host Gilbert.
Hey, everybody.
Hope everyone's doing well. We're going to be covering the New Zealand news and world news today. It's been a little while since we did that because we had the Ervol interview, sorry, and then we covered the EU election. So we're going back to the news. Endeavour News is going back to the news. So it is what it is. So 2 weeks ago, we had the 2024 budget come out. We actually hadn't covered that yet because we'd been doing other things. So have you had a look at the budget, Gilbert? Have you have any sort of like first glances or thoughts on it, on the
Yeah.
coalition government budget?
Yeah, it's kind of just more of the same thing, really. Nothing really that sort of, I don't know, revolutionary. It's sort of just more of the same stuff, like more labor light. They're trying to develop stuff, and they're just using the same sort of every nail needs a hammer, you know, kind of approach to things is
Yeah.
the way I kind of look at it, with some weird stuff in between there. But yeah, have you?
Yeah, well, you can see sort of the viewers should be able to see that some of the basic stuff. It's like the thing that the National Party and the ACT Party and New Zealand First Party sort of displaying the most was the tax cuts, but the tax cuts are rather like quite minor. It's like the average. I think me personally, I get like a $20 a week saving on tax, and that's like pretty. That's I mean, it's something, but it's
Damn.
it's not much.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
if
yeah.
other people, I mean, depending on your situation, if you have kids and all that sort of thing, you will get some slightly higher tax savings, but at the end of the day, it's not that much. Like, I don't know what your tax cut's looking like, but mine's like fairly paltry. It's some pretty minor stuff, and this is what the National Party was sort of, displaying as a massive victory against Labor and bring down the cost of living because you'll have more money in your pocket. But it's like $20 a week. It's something, but that's not really much at all.
It's almost may as well be nothing. And what's also kind of even more pathetic is, and I don't want to toss shade, and I'm not trying to be mean or any of this kind of thing, but there are like some people who are more online may have seen people on X, certain X NZ based X accounts, and it's like like literally everything Luxon does, like, yeah, oh, you make a $20 a week saving, like they'll go, oh my gosh, this is so good, this is amazing, haha, take that labor. It's like, man, we're still enslaved. Like they're still not giving us what you need as a New Zealander to thrive as a New Zealander in this country, And it's just like, it's so, you've probably seen what I'm talking about, Hector, and that these Twitter
Yeah,
accounts.
like the National
And
Party shills or whatever. I mean, well, I don't even know if they're National Party shills. They're just like people that take you saw heaps of them. It's like Labor bad. Oh, if Labor's bad, National must be good. And then they'd like soy face about like Luxon of all people, like the most
yeah,
boring man in history.
it was like, yeah, it was like basically a liberal, and well, basically we have nothing but liberals. It's like, how far to the left do you want it when it comes to New Zealand? But yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just so silly to see all these funny NZ based Twitter accounts like saying like, oh, so based. Like, this is not the solution. Well, this is not a solution at all to our predicament. So, and hence why you've got the everybody moving out of New Zealand, because they're just like, man, who can live, who can thrive in this environment, and they're just doing all the wrong things without, you know, giving people what they need and what they want, But yeah, we'll go through that.
Yeah, well, it says right here they've done some tax cuts, a cumulative amount of 1.2 billion, which is like what, like 5% of their decrease in their revenue. So it's not really that much.
Mm,
And
mm,
some tax credit for independent earners and working families, that sort of thing. They they brought back interest rate deductibility on rental properties, which is sort of cringe. And they adjusted the bright line test, which is sort of like a light capital gains tax. If you flip a property within 2 years, basically you have to pay tax on it. but
Oh,
it's like that's not even really that. It's like I mean, we sort of need stuff like that. Otherwise, you'll end up with an overheated housing market like in 2020, 2021, 2019.
well, yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't really be trading houses like they're Pokemon cards. Like, we don't really need that for that. That definitely doesn't help the cost of living. But it's like a $20 tax cut. It's like I'm keeping $20 of my own money. It's not really much, is it?
No, no. And you need to kind of keep things liquid so that people can do what they need to do, you know, basically to buy what they want. But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think I need to go into that. Yeah.
And they also did some like, I mean, to be fair, some of this is pretty good. Like, decreasing funding for the climate change emergency fund. So that's just like a scam.
Mm,
You've got
yep. Yep.
so commercial building depreciations. I don't know, sort of like minor stuff there. Immigration levies. Well, we shouldn't really be having much immigration at all, so we don't really need a levy for it.
Mm, mm,
Taxing online casinos, like, yeah, that's fine. Switching from fees free first year to fees free final year university. I mean, I sort of agree with that. I think that's actually sort of like a good change.
mhm, mhm,
So I mean, there's some stuff in there, but it's like none of this is a massive game changer. It's like, yeah, changing it from first year fees to last year fee free. It's like that's not really that big of a change. It's like pretty much
mm,
just like business as usual. I mean, sure they stopped giving the climate change emergency fund $500 million a year, but it's like we
mm,
shouldn't have been doing that in the first place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. So it's still just very murky. It's not really, you know, in in New Zealanders' best interest. Yeah. So wait,
Uh,
right through the emissions trading scheme.
yeah,
That's what that is. Yeah. Okay. I still think we're still allocating quite a hefty sum to this.
I think we are, but they said it's less, so we shouldn't be doing
Yeah.
any.
I saw that it was the climate change emergency fund. I read somewhere that we're allocating like at least $20 million to it. So even that, it's like for something that's a ruse, that's quite an expensive ruse to
Yeah.
pay for. And this is another thing. I'll just riff off of this for a second, if you don't mind. What is entailed in this allocation of money? Um, is the mRNA vaccines for cows. And I guess I just want to dwell on this for a little bit. That was one of the, you know, alarming things that was agreed upon during the, whole tug of war between Seymour Lux and Peters. And this is one of the really bad things that got through, unfortunately. So basically, they want to genetically engineer cows and other creatures, no doubt, to expel less uh, carbon through their farts, I guess. And something silly, like it's just silly, is like we probably had, going through various epochs and uh, Earth's history, we probably actually had more animals and bigger animals than ever than now. I mean, I don't know if I'd commit to that statement, but I'd imagine so. More nature, more wildlands, more animals. You'd think. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, like it's just so they're directly interfering with our food supply now, and that is beef is something that's very important to human beings for development of children and to keep yourself healthy as an adult. So they're directly putting these harmful mRNA. Well, they're not vaccines anymore. Remember the what was it? The High Court. A lot of you may have already seen that they're actually not defined as vaccines anymore. They
What's it
can't be
called
called
now?
that.
Is it called Juju's? Like, what are we calling it?
Yeah, we could probably call that. Yeah, I'll try get it up for you guys. But
But But
yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
if you remember back to the election, it was actually part of the Nationals election campaign was they wanted to bring like GMO to New Zealand. I remember that specifically. There was like a
Mm,
whole section under their party policies page about like how they wanted to bring in like GMO food and like
yeah,
genetically modified like cabbages and cows and all sorts of things like that.
It's crazy, yeah. And yeah, I just sent you something. And if you see what the GMO does to lab rats, yeah, High Court rules COVID mRNA jab is not a vaccine. So what is it? Yeah. So now so that's pretty. I think this was the High Court in Europe and
Oh, the
the United.
European court or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, the United States.
Oh,
Excuse me.
United States. Yeah.
Um, but I thought it was the European as well. But anyway, that's quite the indictment of this whole sort of thing that's happened that we've been through. So yeah, what is it? And I think we all know it was full of all kinds of COVID spike proteins. The GMO essentially it manipulates people's organisms DNA on the fly, basically as the DNA is replicating, and yeah, well, full of all kind. They're just discovered all kinds of stuff in it. So yeah, so I mean, what it basically is, I mean, we've played the clip of the Sino-Israeli bioweapons before, but that I mean, it is a bioweapon. Let's not fool ourselves, and that they want to put this bioweapon in our food. And remember, we may have shared an article a while back that saying that they were running tests in New South Wales, and that something like 20% of the cows died when they were injected. So, you know, whatever it is you jab into your animals, it should not cause your cattle to suddenly keel over and die. So, yeah, I won't spend any more time than is needed, but that is a part of that climate change emergency response fund. So, I would just say, again, guys, like we foresaw this quite a while ago, Hector and I. So I would say start looking at other meat sources because you all need to eat beef. You all need to eat meat. But you know, yeah,
You have to get
we'll
it.
see how things
Just
go.
don't buy it from the supermarket. I think we've sort of been over this before.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know
See
if
if you
they're.
can like directly make a deal with farmers because they usually are willing to do that. You can buy like a whole cow, uh, butchered and chopped up for $1,000 or $2
Yeah,
usually,
yeah.
and
I
that's
think it's
like
cheaper too.
yeah,
Oh,
it
sorry.
usually
Go
is
ahead.
cheaper, and that will last you like a year or two. Just put it all in the freezer.
Yeah, hard. Yeah, just to get like what do you call it? A deep chest freezer or
Yeah,
something.
chest freezer.
Yeah, yeah. But just be aware of that, guys. That. I mean, things like this directly. Oh well, it all directly impacts our life. But I mean, that is a real sinister thing. So we're all gonna at Endeavour News. We're gonna keep our eyes on it, and we're gonna keep you informed on food and stuff like that. So we'll keep you posted on that. Yep. So let's keep going.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, so the budget is it's pretty much just like business as usual with some minor tweaks. They've
Mm,
defunded as some government departments that have been massively bloated over the last few decades. The amount of spending that the government has on these departments and ministries has increased by I don't know something like 20% over the last 8 years, while the economy's not even. I think it's actually more than that. The economy's grown by about 20%, but funding in like public departments has grown by about 40. So
jeez.
these government departments are sort of bloating and growing at twice the rate of the actual economy. So it just keeps getting more and more inefficient. So I
Yeah.
mean, savings and like the savings from the government bureaucracy were well overdue. But it's like $1 billion is like nothing. It needs to be like cut down by half. And you could, I mean, I hate to like be a sort of bring it to the meme, but it's like when Elon Musk took over X and like fired 80% of the people, and then it still runs like better than ever, or like as good
Mm.
as it usually does. It's like the same thing can be done with all these government departments.
Oh
Like
yeah.
these are just
Yeah.
these places are massively like bloated with diversity hires, like cultural
Mm,
advisors, overpaid contractors.
mm.
It's sort of ridiculous the amount of like bloat in the bureaucracy,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all this stuff needs to be like like automated anyway. It's sort of
Mm.
ridiculous. We're living in the year 2024. We're living in the current year, and like half the stuff with any sort of government department, any sort of filing process is all done by hand still. Like you still have to like mail in forms to the government. It's
Mm.
ridiculous.
Yeah. 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 Meanwhile, the Chinese are probably going full speed ahead in that direction. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's we need to compete. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some increased funding to education, whatever.
Kurakupapa property. What the hell is that?
Uh,
1.4 billion? 1.5 billion? What the hell is that about?
yeah,
Kura
I don't know what that is.
Kaupapa. Let me just check this out quickly. Kurakaupapa Maori
Oh,
are state schools that operate within a whānau-based Maori philosophy and deliver the curriculum in Te Reo Maori, the first Kura Kaupapa Maori
it's
Hawani
like KFC, it's a
Waititi.
KFC school basically.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Holy crap. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Uh, defense budget. No, I don't think the defense budget's been increased at all. I think it's stayed the same. Oh,
Yeah.
defense. Here you go. Defense. We got 500 extra police. And yeah, that's it. That's our defense budget.
Really, just police?
Frontline
I thought that.
policing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's nothing about. Oh, here we go. Oh, the
For,
defense force got $500 million. So there you go.
yeah, I think yeah, that's what let's and it was Judith. That's right. Yeah, because of course we're worried about CCP aggression in the Pacific, so this has caused us to rack up the dollars in this area. So
Yeah, $500 million
mm,
over 4 years. So that's about,
mm,
you know, 150 million a year, roughly. So
mm,
yeah, I mean, it's not a massive increase, but it's probably just got to go towards like salary increases because the
basically.
turnover in the defense force is pretty high. Like
Mm,
people join the defense force and then don't stay there even like their entire term, like 3 year term on their contract because the pay is like pretty bad. But
mm,
yeah, it says right there, improvement to pay rate. So it's not like we're getting any sort of new like weapons or anything.
yeah,
It's mostly
that's
just like boosting salaries to keep up with inflation.
that's that's terrible. No new like planes or boats or anything. It doesn't go into that.
Well, New Zealand's like air force is non-existent, so
Yeah.
no planes. I doubt we're
Mm,
getting any more boats. Oh, there's a boat
mm.
there. That's like the New Zealand Navy right there. There's the flagship. The
Jeez.
HMS New Zealand is right there. Flagship of the New Zealand Navy.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. I was expecting yeah, another 408 million will go towards projects and infrastructure, whatever that means. Broken down into
Infrastructure.
operating funding. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
I
really
don't even know
sure.
what that means. Like, what does projects and infrastructure in the Defence Force mean? What are they building like a tram line? Like, what are
Yeah,
they
a
doing?
mall.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, I don't think these people know what defense is. Like, I'm pretty sure defense means like guns and boats and submarines and tanks and stuff. Not infrastructure. They treat it like they're looking after like the Cora Papa or something. Oh well, hold on.
Oh, here we go.
Subject to cabinet approval, a project will begin to replace the Unimog and Pinzgauer trucks, the NZDF's workhorses and most frequently deployed vehicles.
Yeah,
Okay.
because New Zealand doesn't have any like APCs. I mean,
Mm.
or like infantry fighting vehicles. They just go around in like these big trucks. So I don't know what they're replacing the trucks with. They're probably replacing the trucks with another truck. They're like, there's the truck.
Oh yeah, I guess that's
I think that's the
pretty
old
good.
truck. Is that the new truck or the old truck? Doesn't say.
Looks kind of old. Even that lady in the orange vest doesn't seem too impressed. She's like, "Yeah, this is not happening. It's not going on." But
Oh,
yeah,
here we
yeah.
go. Here's what they're actually going to
Oh,
do.
cool. Here we go.
So they're
Next
going to
phase of
upgrade our
an upgrade
helicopter.
to the NH90 helicopter navigation systems and radios, upgrading the regional supply facility and logistics model at Linton Military Camp, modernizing devices and productivity tools, upgrading some digital services, and improving national maritime domain awareness. Okay.
A lot of those just sound like buzzwords that don't mean anything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know like electronic warfare is important, but navigation system and radios, that doesn't really seem I'm pretty sure we can navigate okay
Like,
with
what the
what
hell does
we.
this mean? Upgrading some digital to services. Like
Yeah,
what?
this
What,
just sounds like a.
are they gonna buy like all the soldiers new like iPhones or something? Like what does that even
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, exactly. It's so vague. This doesn't really instill confidence that we're protected against
Well, I mean
China
we're
or
not.
anything.
The New
Yeah,
Zealand Defence Force has been a joke since like the 70s.
yeah. I mean, at least like Iran, like its economy is in the kebab heap, but at least they're like willing. You know what I
At least
mean?
they have
But like,
missiles.
yeah, at least they have missiles, and it's like, okay, maybe we don't do that, but like at least they can like put drones, like exploding drones, together with sticks and stuff. Like at least that's something. Like this is just so like, oh yep, we're just like it's not even like a whole upgrade. Like it's just like,
I
yeah,
mean,
we're gonna
buying
put
some new
some new wheels
trucks,
and
yeah. So new
yeah,
rims for
bells
the
and whistles.
trucks or something like it's not much.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yep, we're gonna put a pie holder in our trucks. Gonna for your V and your Coke. Yeah. Jeez. So,
yeah.
I mean,
I mean, honestly, the New Zealand Defence Force is probably the least modern defence force in the entire like West, like
mm,
compared to like
mm,
every other country in Europe, North America, Japan. The New Zealand
mm.
Defence Force is just a bunch of guys with rifles going around in like literally these trucks, and that's it. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
there's no modern weapons, there's no drones, there's no air force, there's no modern artillery. Uh,
yeah.
uh,
Like
the-
at least, yeah, yeah. Go, go. Sorry,
it's
sorry.
basically like yeah, it's basically like it's sort of like a third world army with people just riding around in trucks. And it's been like that for like the entirety of the New Zealand Defence Force post like the Vietnam War.
Yeah. I mean, even the Filipinos can cobble together like something of like a navy defense with their like little boats and stuff.
Well, we have
To
those two frigates. Those are probably the only modern like pieces of equipment in the actual Defence Force. Are the two frigates that were like built in Australia.
mm, mm.
But we've only got two of them, so it's not really that much. Other than that, it's like, yeah, we've got two frigates, and the army's a bunch of guys just going around in like the back of trucks,
Mm,
and we don't even have like a combat air force. So,
yeah, yeah. I mean, do like if we can't afford like I don't know howitzers or tanks or something like that, like at least like look into asymmetric
yeah, like
warfare.
drones or
Yeah.
like drones, like modern anti-tank. Oh, we don't have any of that either. We don't have any like javelins or
Mm,
Endeavour anti-tank missiles, like tow launchers. We've got nothing.
mm.
Like the New
Yeah.
Zealand Defence Force is like literally as well armed as like a African militia, and that's
Yeah.
about it.
Jeez, jeez. I wonder if we'd even stand up against a flock of emus in the emu war. Probably.
We would have fared even worse than the Australians in the Emu War. We probably couldn't even
I
win like
think
we
so.
probably couldn't even win a Kiwi war. Like if we went to war with the
Yeah.
Kiwis,
Flocks of kiwis
like against like
charging
Wekas or
us.
something, against like Kerroros, like I don't think we could even win that.
Kakapos running at us, just sitting on us. Big fat birds, yeah. That's that's pretty good. But yeah, so I guess that's that then. Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw that number like 567 million or whatever, and it's like I thought, oh, cool, sweet, we're finally doing like a major
yeah.
upgrade, and we're finally like
Oh, maybe
going
we're going to
to.
buy some like F-16s or something. Nah, we're just buying a bunch of new trucks and iPhones.
Shot Judith Collins. Yeah, I mean the mistake probably was letting Judith Collins do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but anyway, I don't get what the idea is behind that. Maybe they've got some very specific role for New Zealand to play when World War III happens in the Pacific. I don't. It's hard to even see that, to be honest. But
I don't think we do. The role
yeah.
is yeah, there isn't a role. All right, we got a couple chats.
Mm.
Shiv in chat says Sudanese rebels destroyed a new military base a few weeks ago on the back of Toyota trucks and took over two cities. Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing.
Wow.
It's basically it's African army tier. NHZH in chat says NZ Defence Force is really about maintaining the experience as well as providing low barrier to entry jobs. Barrier to entry jobs. Yeah, well,
Right.
I mean, you don't have
Right.
to train people very hard if all they have to do is ride around on trucks. And Shiv says the New York police have more armored vehicles than the Kiwi Army. Yeah, they literally do. But
Yeah.
most American
Yeah.
police forces are better armed than the New Zealand Defence Force.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that's crazy. What are we
Why?
doing? 571 million.
Yeah, and it's just going towards trucks.
God, man.
I mean, you could buy,
Oh,
I don't know, like artillery pieces. Like New Zealand doesn't have any modern artillery pieces. Like the
mm,
artillery pieces that we have, like, are the old howitzers from like the '60s. Like they're not. Yeah, they're like towed. Like they're not even like self-propelled artillery.
mm, yeah, yeah. We at least need something of a navy to protect our waters and support like Australian Navy forces. But yeah, geez, this is not good, guys. We're pretty cooked. We
YHCH says the NZDF deploys with different equipment overseas. Yeah, we probably like borrow the Australians' equipment because it's better.
oh yeah, it would be yeah. Even the Aussies need like a lot more um equipment.
At least
They
the
need
Aussies have
more.
like an air force. Like,
Oh yeah, they have like decent like that's actually like okay, we have something here, but like I wish they had a lot more as well. But yeah, oh no, compared to there's even in comparison to Australia, it's like there's no comparison, So yeah, but at least the Maoris are getting Kumara Kopapa funding for their schools. Well, they're getting
they're getting the
1.5 billion.
KFC. Yeah, they're getting the 1.5 billion for the KFC schools.
Yeah, well, we get only 570 million for for our defense force. Jeez, yeah, maybe there really is a Maori elite, huh? Telling people what to do and like, yeah, and funding the KFC schools basically. Jeez. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, anyway, that's that, guys. Do you have anything more to say about this sector?
Phillips in chat sends a crying, laughing face. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, the Defence Force in New Zealand's been a joke for half a century, and that's not changing anytime soon. So,
Mm, mm,
okay, I guess we'll continue on from there. Oh, we did that one. All right. Here's our other big story of the day. The
mm,
Maori Party protests. New Parliament mooted. Declaration of Independence issue. Maori Party has issued a declaration of political independence with the intention of starting a Maori parliament, coming off the back of protests against the government. They weren't really mass protests. I was actually in
mm,
the Wellington CBD right after the protest happened. It was like a couple, it was like maybe 200 people. Like, it wasn't really much of a mass protest. I just happened. It was like sort of just coincidence. I was in the Wellington CBD for other reasons. And
mm.
that happened to be the same time the protest was on, and I barely even noticed it.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
So
Okay. So
yeah,
this.
so the Maori Party, I don't know what they're complaining about something. They like complaining they didn't get enough like funding, so now they say they're going to start their own parliament in the
Mm.
KFC, the local KFC down the road, where KFC Wicked Wing buckets will be subsidised half price. So it's a bit silly, really. It's like anyone can say
Mm,
they're going to declare a parliament, but obviously it's not going to have any sort of institutional like legislative institutional power.
mm.
I could say I'm starting the epic parliament right now, but I'm not going to be able to like pass any laws.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that. This is kind of to me what it seems like is just like something. It's just kind of a cope, and
It's actually sort of exactly what it is. They're like just coping because they're not part of the government. So like, oh, I'm going to start my own new parliament with KFC buckets. Like, it's just stupid.
yeah, laptops sponsored by
Yeah.
KFC laptops, and yeah, which they probably don't even know how to use. But yeah, no, it's like it's just like a seething cope. Like they're butthurt that New Zealanders are like, yeah, no, this is like too much. Like you've got too much power. You have too much sway over the country. You already get like a decent handout from taxpayers just for your like little thing that doesn't really affect anybody else, And it's like you're still like the most incarcerated, dole dependent. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not. Like this sounds like I'm trying to you know, I don't know, throw shade or something. But
We just got
you get
footage.
where I'm.
We
Sorry.
got the opening ceremony of the Maori Parliament.
Yeah.
Wow, just
Are those
wow.
Israeli flags?
Yep. Right. It's a new Maori Parliament.
Yeah. This is what happens when a KFC is opened up in New Zealand. They do a haka outside of it.
Well, there you go. The new Maori
Yeah.
Parliament's looking great.
Yeah, so when Rawi Raititi or whatever he says his name is, like says, "Oh, give us time," it's kind of like, well, how much more time do we need to give you? Because like it's kind of looking the same back decades ago now in terms of demographic trends.
Yeah.
In terms of how they're doing as a group of people, as a demographic in New Zealand, is what I'm saying. So I mean, yeah, I mean, it's all just to cope. They're just doing it out of desperation. That New Zealanders are like, man, this whole kind of far left communist ideology that it's burrowed itself so deeply in NZ society. Yeah, we're not really
It's like a
playing
giant
along.
grift. It's like
Yeah,
these
yeah,
Maori
that's exactly it.
NGOs and think tanks, whatever they want to call themselves. As I don't know what they are, like civil rights associations, whatever the heck they're calling themselves. It's all just to get like this public funding money. It's like, oh, we need more money for my programs. We need money for
Mm,
cultural advisors and
yeah.
I don't know, like renovating the Marai and buying more, I don't know, supercars or something. So it's like, yeah, it's just like the government. This government told them, no, we're not going to give you more money. We're going to keep it about the same. It's like they didn't even really decrease the funding. I mean, they gave money to the whatever it was, the KFC schools. They gave them $1 billion, but they're
Yeah,
like, no, that's not enough. We're going to
yeah.
start. We're going to set up our own parliament, and I don't know. They're going to set up their own currency based. Have like backed by KFC buckets,
Colonel
and
Sanders on the coin,
yeah,
his face on the coin.
Colonel coins, and just start their own currency and start their own funding. But I doubt much will come of it. I don't even know if they'll actually get it off the ground. It just sounds like a big grift, especially when you think of all the other trouble the Maori Party's going with, like literal electoral
Mm,
fraud. Like that's
mm,
made in the news in the last week.
Yeah, man, what they've been getting away with murder, basically. It's
Yeah, yeah, we were planning to get into that. There's a couple videos. So yeah, we've got the haka of the opening of the new Maori Parliament, looking
mm,
very epic. And then yeah,
yeah.
here's your, like your typical. This is your typical advocate for the Maori Parliament. This is Mike Damori. Wait,
hmm
this guy's name's Mike.
When are we going
Can I see? Can I
to
see?
Oh, you can't see it. Sorry.
It's all right.
So here we go. This is Mike Damori. I never really guessed this guy's name was Mike, but there you go.
wake the fuck up
Wake up,
and
dude.
realize that continuing to fuck around in a system that was designed to fuck us up is going
I
to
think she's getting. I think like her diet might be fucking her
I
up
figured.
more
Yeah,
than the government. To be fair, look at the state of him.
yeah, and that
keep
hairstyle. What's going
fucking
on?
us up
Do you want me to censor every time she says?
over
Just say
180
censored.
fucking years.
Censored.
We've subscribed to a system
I think
that
you're
keeps
subscribed to
us like
Netflix.
fucking second-class citizens in our own country.
Second
Yeah.
class
It's
citizens,
never
dude.
changed.
They stopped giving us
We
$1 million
think it's
a
what we
week, and we're
want.
second class citizens.
Yeah.
Every little incremental benefit we get, we think, getting closer and closer to mana motuhake. We're full
Which
of
Is
is
that?
shit.
eating
Yeah, I was about to
Mana
say, what's
motuhake
that?
doesn't lie in
Is it
one
like
place and it never ever will.
eating the pakiha.
But at what point do we fucking decide that enough is enough? Investing in a system that's feasting off our failure is enough.
What?
When
What
do
is
we
she
stop
talking
it's
about?
just like empty
talking
rhetoric. It's
about
like,
Yeah.
what do you even mean?
tirangatingatanga? When we stop
This is
talking about
brainwashed communist
sovereignty?
for you,
I am the sovereign.
liberal.
When do we start acting in that? When do we start moving from the attitude of I am the sovereign to behaving in the attitude of
They're
I am the
literally like
sovereign?
those
Continuing to fuck
Afrocentric
around in this bullshit system
people in the
is
states.
making us
What's
beast.
that?
They're literally like she is literally like those Afrocentric.
Yeah, that's basically yeah. It's like just copying the ideology from there and then like applying KFC buckets to it. Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Basically,
does she ever get to the point? Like, what's she even talking about?
yeah. Which is there like? Sorry, I'll send you a shorter version of that because I think there might be. Oh no, that is the one I send you. Yeah, weird. She's obviously very butthurt
Yeah, I
about
think it's.
something.
I don't think it's the system messing her up. I think it's more of a diet, diet and lifestyle. You might want to start the change from within.
Yeah. Start changing your diet.
Yeah,
That would
that's
be
what
good.
I'd say.
Yeah. Mm, mm.
Stop eating the GMO KFC. All right, I think we've seen enough of that. It's
Yeah.
just
She
nonsense.
later on she says like you can keep it playing like
to a
on mute
model
if you
that
want.
was
Yeah, I might turn it
designed
down a bit.
to assimilate,
Deranged
to
woman.
continue to
Yeah,
colonize,
turn it right
and
down.
to keep
But
up
yeah, she goes on. Yeah,
with second
we're
class
being
citizens of our own
colonized, and
country.
then
Take
she
it
like
away,
makes like some sort of threat to the rest of
by
New Zealanders.
design.
Like
It's like she says she's second class citizens, but it's like, what are you even talking about? Like second class
yeah,
how? Like,
yeah. I mean, you're
you just
getting 1.5 bill
yeah
in terms of KFC schools. Like,
yeah I know.
Right? And you just imagine, just take one fucking minute of your day to imagine if we were all on the same page.
The same
Not from my own
KFC
little
table,
diggy or my own little hubby or my own little
eating
farm.
from the same
What's the
KFC
difference
bucket.
to me? Just imagine.
Imagine the world we could
All
live
on
in
the
if we
same
all had the
page.
same bucket of KFC.
Taking all of our mokopuna.
And then the Pakistan wouldn't be
Maori.
stealing our KFC wicked wings.
Can you imagine the might and the power that we would have?
Imagine how much
We could
KFC we
own
could have after that. We would have like a whole bucket.
We could do whatever the fuck we wanted. Because on top of that,
it's so.
is the Maori
I mean,
economy is worth $70 billion.
That's a lot of
What is
KFC
People
restaurants.
realise how much
Yeah.
we have
Maori
to
economy.
that power
What is
and
the Maori
assert
economy? I've heard that
power.
thrown around.
I don't know.
So
Yeah.
successfully
I think it's literally
colonised
the what's the
England.
combined GDP of all the KFC restaurants in
Because
New
the
Zealand? It's
minute
probably about
that
70
we
billion.
start to think about ourselves and guarding our own little patch, you know, being the guardians of our own little kumara patch here.
Guardians of the Kumara.
She's like memeing herself.
Guardians of
We're
our
doing
own
a
chicken
fabulous
wings.
job at lighting little teeny fires here and there. Because I want to do this. I'm going to light this little fire. I'm going to go
So
to the
deranged.
tribunal.
So
It's
out
like
of it.
it's like just rhetoric with no actual sort of solution or like actionable goal. It's just like, oh, dude, what if we were all had the same KFC bucket? Imagine what we could do.
Yeah.
So there's no actual substance to what she's saying. It's just silly.
Look at her face. Look at that.
That's what it
is-
sums it up.
Yeah, basically. Look at the picture the on the right side of this video that we're playing. He looks kind of like a tranny. Like if you
He's he actually is like a soy boy. Like if you like look at his facial structure, look past like the cowboy hat. He's even got like he's even got like man boobs. He's got like man
Yeah.
tits. He's got soy tits.
What the hell?
Open the fashion week.
Yeah, this is yes, Maori excellence on display. You got like the soy boy party, Maori leader, like literal soy boy.
Nathan opened the fashion week.
Looks like a troon. Looks like he's about to
Yeah.
troon out.
Literally, that is bizarre, man. Also because the earrings, like, what the hell is going on with that? That's weird.
I think he's about to come out. I think he's about to come out as a new gender or something. Like, just look at the
Yeah.
state of this guy.
Oh, the glasses as well. That's like the lesbian HR office lady.
Yeah, it
glass,
actually is.
You know?
It's like
with the panther kind of design, like you know what I mean? Yeah, the big multicolored glasses. What the hell? That is bizarre.
Didn't you realize he looked like a soy boy, like pudgy soy boy leader of the Maori party, Rara Waititi, whatever his name is.
Yeah, why titty? You said it.
Yeah. Why man titties?
Yeah, why man city? Why you got man cities?
Bloody hell, mate. Maybe go for a run. Jeez Louise,
Yeah.
dude. Hey, yeah. This is like he's got the physique of a marshmallow.
Yeah, that is just bizarre, man. No wonder they're just soying out all the time. Like, going, oh, the Pakeha, we're gonna eat them because they took our KFC away. Because they're soying out like that because they're just filled with estrogen from all the like
Too
fast
much
food we've
Yeah,
been
too much
consuming.
fats, trans fats. They're turning it transgender because of all the trans fats.
Yeah, literally trans fats. It's like, God, that is actually quite shocking. That's like a bit of a Yeah, far out. And down here on the right again, is he wearing a wig or something on the bottom?
Oh, remember when he like did like his soy dance?
Soy. I don't. I
He's
actually
like
haven't
he's
seen
literally wearing his tranny. Oh, this is from when I think he
Yeah,
got
he's
in.
tuning.
He's got
Yeah,
his tranny wig on, and now he's doing his soy dance.
and while he's got Jordans on, he's got Air Jordans on.
And a floral shirt, mate.
Yeah, what is? What?
Yeah, he's like
This is a meme and a half.
it's like a
This is like
60-year-old. He's got like the hairstyle wig of like I don't know, like a 60-year-old grandma. I don't know if you ever seen Kit Boga and he wears like the granny wigs when he does when he talks to like the Indian scammers. It sort of looks like that.
Oh, okay. Maybe get a pic of that up. I haven't.
All right, let me find it. Wait, all right,
What
I'll
the
pause
hell?
it. Let me bring up Kit Boga and we'll compare and contrast.
Yeah. Or mute it and keep it playing while you look for it. I just want to see.
Oh, okay.
Or whatever you want.
I'll just keep it going.
Let's get a look at this soy face specimen, everybody. Look at him doing karate kid moves or something. Not even. Yeah. So that New Zealanders, for our foreign audience, New Zealanders just have to sit around and watch as a soy man,
Wearing a
gesticulates with
granny
a
wig. It sort of looks like that.
wearing a granny wig. Oh, right. There we go. Yeah, basically. Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's
Oh, whoops! I stopped sharing my
yeah, that's
screen
a
with
good.
you. Let me bring it back. I sort of
Yeah,
saw that anyway.
he probably watches a bit too much of Kit Boga on all of his
Yeah,
taxpayer
that or
bucks.
he was trying to be Goku, but he couldn't afford like a good like Goku wig or something, so he had to wear like the granny wig. I don't know. I can't really say what's going on there. Well, anyway, speaking of the Maori Party, so investigation mount as the Maori Party faces serious accusations of misusing data. What
All
could
right,
it
let's
mean?
listen.
I'll just read a couple chats first. And
Okay.
YHCH in chat says, a vote for the Maori Party is a vote for New Zealand looking like South Africa in 20 years or less.
Yeah.
That's basically
Well
what
put.
they want. They want to like completely tear the country apart and just like loot and destroy everything that the European settlers that actually built the country have built up over the last 2 centuries. They just want to tear it down and like scrap it for cheap buckets of chicken wings. That's it.
Yeah. No joke.
Te Pāti Maori is facing serious accusations over how it collected contact details it used for electioneering.
The Electoral Commission, police and Stats NZ are all investigating a complaint about the alleged misuse of
A lot
census
of
data
like
collected in
organizations.
Auckland Marae.
And it's now been revealed another complaint has been laid about campaign texts sent to phone numbers Labour claims were sourced from a COVID vaccination program.
Wow.
Here's political reporter Amelia Wade.
She wearing a snuggie?
Won her seat in Parliament by just 42 votes.
She's wearing an iron cross too.
I don't think it's something. Yeah, what is that?
She and Te Pāti Māori
I
are
don't
now
know.
facing serious accusations
She's
about
like a
how
Nazi
they
Maori.
campaigned for votes.
Look, they're all trying to like cosplay as Goku. What's up with his haircut?
Elected, Kemp was the chief
Looks like they
executive
can't
of
quite made up
Mangirewa
their
Marae,
mind about what
Yeah.
which had a
cosplay is.
massive census drive. Some staff wore Te Pāti Māori t-shirts.
Look at all these soy boys. Why are all these Maori Party people soy boys?
Serving you, our community, with free honey, free coffee, and also $50.
He even sounds like a soy boy.
All we require from
Yeah,
you is to fill out your
they do.
census.
Employment advocate
Straight
Alan
from Reddit.
House is representing
Yeah, they look
6
like
former
Maori
Marae
Redditors.
staff and one MSD worker. A number have made complaints, one with the police, saying the census data was used for Te Pāti Māori campaigning.
So they're using information they got from the census to send out campaign messages.
Photocopied, and then that data was put as
Misusing people's personal private data.
database that we believe was that it was owned by Waipuria Trust.
The Waipuria Trust is run by John Tamahiri, who is also the president of Te Pāti Māori. The allegations, which are strongly rejected by the party, were first revealed in the Sunday Star Times.
The second stage involved staff assisting people to transfer from the general to the Maori role, and they believe that information was obtained from the census form.
Well, they're deeply concerning because, first of all,
Speaking of soy boys,
reliable statistics are critical to New Zealand.
actually,
Statistics New
Seymour looks like
Zealand
less
is
of a soy boy than
investigating
these
the
Maori
complaint.
Party
Yeah, he
people.
does.
It's actually sort of amazing.
Depending on what they find.
I've always
Yeah.
considered like Seymour the like soy boy of Parliament, but now it's the Taweri Mantitty, whatever
It
his
was
name
also
is.
revealed
Yeah.
today a different complaint which
Like,
has
literally
been seen by
pruning
News
out
Hub has
before
been
our
referred
eyes.
to the police. The complaint was laid by Labour, and in it alleges that a phone number it believes belongs to the Waipareira Trust was used to send campaign text messages for Te Pāti Māori, but without a promoter statement. The complaint also alleges that people who received the texts had their numbers gathered during the Trust's COVID vaccination program. The text said, Kia ora.
So they go to get their vaccination and then they get added to without their consent. I mean, you have to be sort of silly to go get a vaccination at a marae. And then, yeah, they get their personal data added to like a Maori Party like campaign list without their knowledge.
Whānau, support your whakapapa and support a better Aotearoa, 2 ticks to Pāti Māori. And keep your whānau fed with an extra 8 weeks of kai when we remove GST from food. 2 ticks to
Remove the
Pāti Māori to make
GST
the
off
difference.
KFC.
News Hub attempted to contact Tamahiri today.
Kia ora, John Tamahiri. Unable to take your call.
He did not respond. Te Pāti Māori issued a statement last night saying Kemp would stay on and had the full support of the party, that the allegations are baseless and simply untrue, and that they welcomed an investigation.
I believe that he knows that allegations are entitled to be made and allegations should be investigated.
Statistics New Zealand said it took the accusations very seriously and had appointed an external investigator.
Well, Amelia joins us now. Kia ora, Amelia.
Well, that's the basis of it. So the Maori Party was stealing personal data from census data and people that went to go get vaccinated at local maraes to send them campaign messages.
Why would they do this?
Because they're stupid. I think that's sort of, they didn't think there'll be any consequences for like using people's personal data, private information to send like campaign messages and campaign, I don't know what you call it, canvassing.
Yeah, right.
But
So that's what it was
Hooky, my
for.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, weird. Yeah,
Anor,
that's
welcome
pretty
back.
It's the
amazing.
same one.
Whistleblowers at the centre of allegations against Te
It's
Pāti
basically it's just the same thing but a different thing.
Oh, right.
Here we go. Speaking of Maori, should we watch some cringe? We've got Shane Jones, the Maori deputy leader of the New Zealand First Party, and Debbie Naraga Packer.
Nagawaga Packer.
Yeah, Nagawaga Packer. I've seen some of it. They just like yell over each other. I might turn it down a bit. They just go,
Okay.
"No, I'm the most Maori. No, I'm the most Maori." It's just and like the libtard journalist is just soy facing as these two people say they're the most Maori.
Yeah.
When asked at Post Cabinet yesterday if he knew what the protest was about, the new Prime
I don't think
Minister
anyone knows what the protest is about. I don't think anyone knew.
Yeah.
To be honest,
To be
Yeah,
fair.
I don't even think they would really
what
know.
I'm hearing and what I'm reading.
Let's go,
and,
"Oh,
what people
I
are
don't wanna
talking
take away our
about, as to
KFC."
The scope, the scale, what the issues actually are. I think we'll be found. We'll find out. But what I just say to you is, we are going to be a government that's going to deliver for Maori.
Here to share their thoughts on today's protests are Te Pāti Māori co-leader Debbie Narawa-Packer, and joining her as a first-time guest.
It's
today
so
on the program-
awkward.
She has like more testosterone than the male co-leader. It's incredible.
Look at the
She's
size
joined
of her
first
tiki.
Shane Jones. Morning to you both. Shane, I'll start with you.
It's like the
Looks like
standards.
Understand what the protests are about?
Yeah. They
Well,
just get
it's
bigger
a
and bigger.
legitimate form of democracy to protest, but my message to my own people and the Maori Party is that democracy was celebrated on October the
So
14th.
pissed off.
And today, when we go through the rituals of Parliament and endow ourselves with the
It's like
necessary
identical
privileges,
twins.
it's a key feature of democracy.
Yeah,
And that
big as
democracy
her head.
is a taonga, and it shouldn't be trounced.
The Tonga.
Okay,
The
we'll
names are
talk
so
about
silly.
What's happening
Yeah.
later on today in a moment. Debbie, I'll ask you though. What are you hoping to achieve from the protest today?
Can we just pause on both of
What do you
them?
know? I think
When
first
the blonde lady. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, look at that. I mean, she just. It's like that's interesting physiognomy. I've got to say. The massive tiki. What she's got? What is this bib? She's got like a bib over her.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's
dark
about.
Sith. Yeah, She's got sort of like a Sith cloak on.
Oh,
with,
that's.
like,
I mean,
some
that's
sort of-
in case she had to go to like an emergency meeting at KFC and doesn't like drip any of the like spicy hot wing sauce on her. So you got to keep the emergency bid there for all occasions.
Yeah, she has to put the tiki. That's the one place where they put the tiki behind the bib, so that
So it doesn't
get sauce on it.
Yeah, it's in case they have to do an emergency meeting at the local KFC. So the bib, it's just like a safety bib.
Why did they put them so closely together? Like, you could see how pissed off she is. Like, if you look at her face, you can see how angry she is. Like, that. I think she's angry. Like, it's like, oh, the jig is up. Like, our grift is over. Fine. Like, people are. And it's because of like people like this guy, because of Shane Jones, who's like, yeah, you guys, like, pretty much like NZ First, and maybe Seymour are the only ones like kind of saying like, yeah, you guys like gotta stop.
And it's
eating so much
ironic.
KFC.
It's ironic as well because like Shane Jones and Winston Peters are both like Maori and they're the leaders of the New Zealand First Party.
And they're like, yeah, you guys are full of crap. Like,
Yeah,
this
it's like you're just a
nonsense.
bunch of babies. Like, stop crying all the time.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not surprised that the Prime Minister doesn't know what it's about or what.
I don't think
Maori
I don't think anyone knows about, let alone the people protesting there.
Some of the leaders presenting today. But what we have is a government that has offended at least 20% of the population.
They didn't give us enough KFC, it offended me.
Given the percentage of New Zealand First and Act don't meet that percentage. So, again, we've got Te Pāti Māori back in our whānau Māori. We have a large mandate of Māori. We were able
Got
to
a large tiki.
tautoko what's been said today. And it is
A large
push
something, and
against
it's not a
this
mandate.
government's anti-Māori policy platform.
She's got more of a jaw than her husband.
I understand the point you make about the number of people who
can we just
voted for
pause
certain
this?
parties, but is there
I'll
a
pause
Anybody
it.
has
percent?
this lady's
they were
TikTok,
a democratically
please give it to me.
elected coalition. Is this the fault perhaps of Labour for not having garnered
fault of
enough
Labour.
support to push through a majority government on its side instead?
Oh, look, I'm not here to even let Labour off the hook. They weren't that great for Māori, given look at some of the child poverty rates for Māori and Pacifica. What it is an erosion of the rights and interests of Māori. And thankfully...
Yeah, I think this is the one I saw in Wellington.
70% of the population are under the age
There's
of
like a
40,
couple hundred
and
people.
thus showing, alongside Tangata Tiriti, what it is that they think about this government's approach.
Looks
There's a few
zombified.
hundred already shown up,
Not very high energy, is it? Very low energy
No.
protest.
We're looking
It looks
at some
like they're
live
struggling
pictures
to
now
walk.
of the
I think this lady is literally struggling to walk. Look at her.
Oompa
Wellington.
Loompas. Look at that Oompa Loompa behind her.
Oh my golly gosh.
Program this morning
Wow.
say the government has racist
Yeah, I think
policy.
if you literally can't even walk properly, the government maybe isn't the root of your
Doing
issues.
right by you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's maybe your own like lifestyle and diet that probably need to change before you start demanding a change in government. If you can't even walk properly.
Theatre. A lot of the people that are participating
Have a Cuban flag.
not only in this protest, but
Wait, was there a Cuban flag?
people that
Was
are-
there?
Yeah, a Puerto Rican flag or something. If you go back,
Oh,
see
yeah.
that there.
Yeah, I don't.
Was it's like, yeah. go
Why?
ahead.
Why is there?
Oh, it's all. My theory is it's all like a communist like grift. It's like a. I could maybe one of the commenters can enlighten us if they know, but it's like it's like why, but it's like it's this is all like a communist. They're really hot on it, and so is Greens, of course, and so is Labour. That it's all like. This is what they're all about. This is what they're trying to transform New Zealand into. And if you look between them, like their beliefs aren't so different. It's all leading in one direction. But yeah, go on.
theatre.
Oh, we'll watch the
A
rest
lot
of
of
this.
the people that are participating
Is it theatre?
not
You
only
don't
in
think
this
they
protest,
have they don't have a right to back that up with something?
It's not being backed up by anything.
No,
He's sort of
what I'm
right.
saying is that on October the 14th, everyone voted. And we've laid out our manifesto.
Is she like tweaking out? What's she like? What is she doing?
Yeah, look at her.
Protest, but no, this
What the hell?
Is she like?
What the fuck?
Has
What is that?
Has she been hitting the crack pipe or something before the interview? What's going on here?
Should we play that again?
She's like tweaking out. Look at her.
And they fought for the principles of liberty and freedom, and for this type of narrative that's coming from Debbie and Rawiri, where they advertise the protest with 2 cocked pistols. That is gross. It reminds me of what Sinn Féin did. Now, Sinn Féin, for a long period of time, refused to take their seats in Parliament in Ireland. Let's see how long Debbie and them sit outside.
And I'm not surprised that Shane doesn't understand modern Māori art.
Okay.
Well, we've got
She's
a
so
long
Even then,
PC.
she's just like, what does that even mean? Like, even like the
Yeah.
libtard journalist is like, okay, what does that even mean? You just said like a nothing statement again.
Time to have these debates, and we're professional politicians.
Well,
I
you
put
are.
my credentials up.
It says he looks like he had a stroke too. I mean, well, he's obviously doesn't have a healthy lifestyle either. It looks like she's tweaking out, and he's sort of like, yeah, had a stroke in the last couple. Look at
Yeah,
him.
or he kind
Something's
of looks
going on
like
there.
Along with my leader against anyone within
looks like Al
Maoridom, and that's
Capone.
why we're in the government.
Yeah,
Now,
if
let's
Al
be
Capone
really
had
clear.
like maybe a
And
stroke a
look,
couple years
I
ago.
understand that one classes himself as a professional politician for a certain genre, but the reality is we did not get, and certainly Shane and ACT did not get a Māori mandate, and that is something that we have been privileged and honoured to have, and we will heed the call of our people, unlike some who dine off their whakapapa, and we will continue to push that forward to this government. The
Who's
kaupapa
dining
that
off
we
who?
have is a government that
I think they're
has
both dying.
enjoyed
They
the
both don't look
division
particularly
and the
healthy,
fact
do
that
they?
Māori don't have
Yeah,
rights
nah.
and interests, that we don't have inequities to address, and the fact that they're comfortable pushing us back 50 years is not going to be tolerated.
We're an economic nationalist party, and I can tell you this:
right.
Debbie trades on victimhood,
Oh.
and that has become the kaupapa of the Maori Party, which erodes New Zealand's unity and integration.
She's just soy
And I'm all
facing.
about
Yeah,
that.
soy facing out.
And Debbie does not accept men who sit there and bully her and stand over her, and will never. And we are women who have now enjoyed our own views, enjoyed our own aspirations, and we will continue to push back against this type of misogynistic attitude that comes with old dinosaur politicians.
Well, look, we shouldn't allow these debates to degenerate into personal attacks.
Well, you did,
If you
Shane.
bring the kaupapa of victimhood, stand, be prepared.
We
to
were
be
strong,
challenged.
independent brown
You are
women.
just used to bullying women, and you don't like the fact that I don't accept
It's like-
that, never will, never have.
I don't even. It's like it's weird. He didn't even bring up that she was a woman. He's just like, yeah, we like got elected and we have like an economic nationalist platform.
Yeah.
And then she goes, oh, you're bullying women and misogynist. It's like you're the one that brought it up.
Okay,
Yeah,
on that note,
exactly.
I'm going to interrupt right there. I think we've made the point very clear. But
I don't think
we have
any
another
points were
question.
made.
Speaking of old
It was just like
dinosaurs,
nothing.
Are you
Yeah.
going to be swearing allegiance to the King of England today?
I'll do exactly what our people expect us to do.
What does that mean?
Exactly what it has always meant.
It means they're gonna keep go. That means they're gonna take their seats and get the money. Like they're gonna take their
Yeah.
paycheck. They're not gonna like not. They're not gonna actually do like Sinn Féin does. That is against all the criticism of Sinn Féin. At least they have the balls to not actually swear allegiance to the king because they don't believe in it. While the Maori Party just do it anyway because they want the money.
I swore it in the last.
Easy lifestyle.
Of course, you know my views about the way that colonisation has affected us, but we will always.
Yeah, we made you stop eating your cuzzies and actually like brought things like metalworking and modern industry and medicine.
do what our people have put us here to do.
Okay. and
See
Shane,
more of
do you
this
have any-
victimhood thinking. Further
Oh my gosh,
victimhood.
there we go again.
Yeah, Al Capone is right.
Uncle.
I'm going to move on to another topic to finish up, just so that we can wrap this up with something that you both might have some other interesting thoughts on. Waka Kotahi has officially
Who?
flipped its name back to the New Zealand Transport Agency.
Yeah.
And I'm
Oh
wondering,
yeah, that epic.
Shane,
All right, whatever. We've already know about that. Well, there you go.
Ends of transport. Yeah.
You
so-
had the Maori lady just going, "Oh, you're sexist and racist and mean," and then Shane Jones is just like, "What the hell are you even talking about?"
Yeah,
It's sort of funny.
He was like, had a cigar in his hand. He's like, well, look at
It would have actually.
some fellas at your house at 12 o'clock at night. Come give you a visit, Debbie. What do you say about that? See? Yeah. Who's this lady here?
Whatever the breakfast morning show host is, I don't remember her name.
Whew.
Might say in the description.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't know.
Smoking.
if you can tell me, how vital is that move to getting the country back on track?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what the comments say.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if anybody has her email or TikTok or anything, send it to me. I hope that. kidding. Just jokes. But yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
so-
all the comments are like, yeah, Shane Jones won this one.
Yeah, exactly. Like people, I don't know about memeing aside. I actually I don't know much about Jones, but he seems I like him. I like what I've seen about him, and I think he's the right kind of person to sort of diffuse this kind of retardism, basically. And yeah, but they're complaining, and the Oompa Loompification of the Maori community continues. Really,
Yeah, the soyification of the Maori party. It's
Yeah,
basically what
yeah.
it is. It's just like soy facing and crying and going, "No, you didn't vote the right way. Give me that. No, you're evil, sexist, and racist."
That's literally what that no joke. That's literally what it was. She was like angry, like
She's
we're not
angry that
being
people voted the wrong way, and she didn't get to, spend an extra $10 billion on renovating the marae or whatever.
Yeah, let's read. Yeah, exactly. Let's read some of these comments. When when a woman has to resort to attacking a man's gender and age, she's already lost the debate. That's like always when I get into arguments with women, they always do that. Like with my friends, girlfriends, or whatever, they're always like, "Oh well, fuck you. You just like hate women." It's like that's
It's like,
literally what
yeah,
happened.
and
Yeah, basically. When and yeah, that whole stream she was tweaking out. That was weird.
yeah, I don't know what that was sort of strange. I mean, it looked like Shane Jones was like falling asleep, and then it looks like she was like tweaking out 'cause she like hit the pipe right before the interview. It was strange.
And then the lady, the interviewer, was soy facing.
Yeah, where's the
I
soy
guess
face
she's a
bit?
female, so I guess you're allowed to soy face.
Where was that soy face bit? That was pretty funny. I don't know where
Yeah,
that was.
that was literal. That was like one of the best soy faces I've. It was when yeah, something
a long
around.
period of time to have these debates.
I don't know. It's in there somewhere. You guys saw it.
Yeah. That was funny.
Mate.
Yeah, let's read some others.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like people are saying like colonialism set back the Maori Party. I totally think it is like the unhealthy diet of eating too much KFC has just turned them into like a soy race.
Yeah, basically, which is why they're like chimping out all the time doing their huckers. Like they just can't reason like intellectual. It's probably like gives you. I think it gives you brain damage eating too much fast food. Like that's
Yeah,
something
that's
to be
probably
aware
part
of.
of it. I mean,
Yeah.
diabetes doesn't help with your brain power.
Yeah, that lady must have blinked 5,000 times. Yeah.
Wait, was that one of the comments?
Yeah, that was like the third one up.
This one?
Yeah. Sorry, I can't.
Oh,
see
am I sharing the wrong one?
Oh, no, you're on the right one. Yeah, the third one up, or the 1, 2, 3.
Oh, right here. Yeah. Sorry, I was going the wrong way.
Sixth one down.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Let's see if it's a common tale of
Making fun of a disability. What is smoking meth a disability? Like, what are you talking about?
Smoking meth a disability. Yeah, she's
cooked. Yeah, that sums it up.
Yeah, she needs to read the real history, not the crap she's made.
Yeah.
Yeah, far out. Yeah.
It's the seed oils. Yeah, the seed oils is just like it turned the Maoris into like a soy race. It's
Conquered
it's
soy
tough.
race.
Yeah, conquered soy race. It's tough.
It's too bad, really.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Phil Up says theatre from Shane Jones. I mean, Shane Jones has been in this for a while, but I don't know. It's easy to look reasonable when you're next to Debbie Ngawanga Packer. Like,
what was that song? I'm hunga bunga wanga langa. What's that?
Oh,
video
that's the Aboriginal one. What is it?
Yeah, that's what her name reminds me of a little bit. Nanga wanga paka.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Chloe one, but maybe we can look at that some other time. But
yeah. I was going to say that sort of covers it for New Zealand. Not too much is happening here. It's just Maori's soying out, and they're going to make their own parliament and their local KFC. Like, it's not really that big of an issue, but it's sort of funny.
Yeah, it's a good laugh.
All right, so here we go. Here we go to the UK, where you can't barrage the Farage. So, as you may or may not know, what's the guy's name? The leader of the Conservative Party. He's the Indian guy.
Sunak.
Sunak. Yeah, Sunak. He called for a snap election in the UK for some reason I don't even understand. And now the Conservatives are like tied, if not losing, in the polls to the Reform Party. It's pretty interesting. It's the first time in, I don't know, probably since like the 20s, since Labour overtook the Liberals, that one of the two major parties is polling behind a third party. So it's a pretty big change. I don't know if Nigel's going to actually get more votes than the Conservative Party in the general election in the UK. Will he get enough seats to become the leader of the opposition? Will he start taking support away from Labour? Because Reform has, historically taken support away from both the Conservatives and Labour. So in the next 2 to 3 weeks, will Labour start going down and Reform go up? Who knows?
Yeah, that's an interesting prediction. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
Shiv says, isn't Farage responsible for Brexit? Well, yeah, kind of. He led the UKIP party. He's been around in politics for, I don't know, 2 decades now. He's sort of like a snake oil salesman, but at the same time he is sort of charismatic, and I can see why people like him. And him taking over the Conservative Party collapsing and getting replaced by the Reform Party, while the Reform Party isn't perfect, it will be like a very interesting shift in the political landscape in the UK, and whether that actually happens is yet to be seen. But it's interesting times, and it will be a very interesting UK election.
Why is this guy, just on the aside, why is this guy always drinking beer? He's always got like a pint.
Oh, you're Nigel Farage.
Yeah, like I just here I'll send you a link on Jitsi, and you can see what I mean. Like
Well, that's because he does it because he tries to relate. Yeah, literally every.
Yeah, like everywhere. Like whenever I see this guy, he's always in a pub, like drinking.
Yeah,
like a
it's
pint.
part of his image,
it's always
right?
a pint as well.
He's actually like he comes from like an industrialist family, but it's like it's this like image. He says he's part of like the working class. He goes to the pub and has a beer with the boys, and I don't know, watches the footy, goes for North FC or whatever. So
North FC, yeah. I guess it's like how Obama, he doesn't wear like a jacket to his suit, and he'll roll his sleeves up.
Yeah, it's sort of like how Obama's like, yeah, I'm hip and cool. It's sort of like Nigel Farage is like, yeah, I'm a working class lad that watches North FC at the pub. But he really isn't. But he still is. If you ever listen to his speeches, he is like way more charismatic than the Labour and what's I keep forgetting the Conservative Party leader's the guy's name, the Indian guy. Like he sounds like a nerd. Like he sounds like a soy boy nerd if you actually hear him speak. Wow. At least Farage is somewhat charismatic.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be affected by all the beer drinking as well, because that.
I don't know if he's actually. Do you actually see him with? Oh no, he does have an empty glass. I was going to say, does he actually drink it? Does he just take the photo and then like give it back or something? But it looks like he does actually drink it.
You don't want to get horsed like while you're a politician, that's for sure. But,
Muldoon did, and it didn't. Prajeek Soynak, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, if you hear like Soynak speak, he literally just sounds like a nerd. Like he sounds like a nerd from he's like a middle manager nerd working for an IT company. I think that's actually what he was, right? He was like an IT guy, and now he's the Prime Minister of the UK. The guy's like a nerd. Sad state, but yeah, Conservatives are in the frickin' toilet. They're polling below 20%. Reform's starting to poll in the high teens. It may take over Conservatives. Probably will. They do. It'll be very interesting. But it'll be interesting to see in the next coming weeks whether they start getting some of eating into some of the Labour support, because I think historically the UKIP party and the Reform Party have actually got a large chunk of their voters for these Labour voters that voted for Brexit, I go for North FC, I vote Labour because I worked in the mines, and I don't like the Packies, don't like the Ning Nongs, I'm going to vote Labour, and I'll vote for Brexit.
Literally like the orcs from 40k.
Yeah, so that was a big voter block for UKIP. So it'll be interesting to see if Reform can start eating into the Labour support as well as the Conservative support, because then they might actually sort of get a stronghold and a base that they can build from in the future. But it'll be interesting. It's interesting to see the Conservative Party collapse at the very least. But hopefully we get a situation where the Conservative Party and the Labour Party collapse at the same time, because that's the only way you're going to win. It's the only way you're going to win, here, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, wherever. If both these, stalwart centrist, centre-left, centre-right parties both collapse. Sort of like they have in France, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I think that can only be for the best. Nigel Farage is a bit of an interesting. Yeah, look, I'm very often critical. I think it's easy to be critical when we're in the situation
Yeah, of
we're in.
course,
But
yeah.
he is. I think he is. Almost anyone's better than what Conservative and Labour. It's like, well, how are these people? Again, it's like these people aren't even distinguishable from one another. It's like that they're literally cut from the same establishment cloth in Britain. So yeah, it's like GG Brits. I mean, either you vote something else like reform, something that isn't like complete liberal Democrat kind of bullshittery, or you vote for someone who's like actually somewhat leaning right wing and begin to flow the stream and the other way, But yeah, up to you guys. We'll have a big guest on this topic actually in
Like,
the
sweet.
nearest future, so make sure you guys stay tuned on that. I'm not telling you who it is. I'm not giving anything away, but we have a big guest. He's a big guy. Yeah.
Shiv in chat says, "What's Reform's Party's policies?" I don't think they've actually released their manifesto yet, so we don't know. We don't know what the actual policies are because they don't have a manifesto out. The Conservatives' manifesto was like, "Oh, we're going to lower taxes." Labour's one was like, "Oh, we're also going to lower taxes and increase funding for the NHS or something." And I don't know, tax businesses. I think that's sort of it. I don't know what Reform's policies are going to be. Who knows?
Yeah. I'll send you this Hector real quick. It's just like I want to see what this guy says.
Okay,
Yeah, he says something about Farage. But
here we go.
See what he.
See what King Sargon has to say. King of Kekistan.
Let's see it.
Farage is doing really well. Farage has surpassed the Conservatives in the polls, which is superb. Because
Sargon
won. Is the leader of the right in Britain at this point. I'll cover this more on the podcast today. He is undoubtedly the leader. He is the one with legitimacy. He is the one putting our talking points in front of millions of boomers and they all agree. And so basically, the ideal is that Farage flips the entire Tory vote. Now, there's only, 2 to 3 weeks, something like that, before the election. So it's unlikely, of course, that he's going to do it this time. But next time, it's only 5 years away, he could flip every Tory in this country to being a Reform voter. And that means the Tory party's dead. And also, we get, finally, a right-wing government. So if you want to do your part, literally go to just any Conservative and just say, it's time to vote Nigel. It's time.
Can you share your screen, Hector?
Oh,
the
sorry.
Party has to go, and here's the only alternative.
I mean, I shared it with the stream. I wasn't sharing it with you. I already watched the whole video. But
yeah.
Sargon won. Why did you trust the Gamergate 10-year plan, mate?
Yeah. Man, I won't say that joke on stream because but there was that. I remember you and I used to joke a lot about this, Hector. I don't think we should relay that on stream though because we're on YouTube. But this guy has a history. He's funny. He's so memeable in that way. But yeah, I mean that seems promising. Postmodern traditionalist, sensible centrist. Should we go into his profile quickly, just see if he has any updates?
Yeah, let's see what King Sargon has to say about the situation.
Yeah.
There you go.
He goes hard.
There you go.
All right.
Getting smoked. I don't know what this is. 0 seats.
Yeah, is that for Labour? Does he mean, or I don't know.
I don't know. This is what Sargon has to say.
Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, because that's okay. Farage is absolutely correct at the mood. 0 seats. Okay, yeah.
Oh, is this what he's talking about? 0 seats.
The most realistic way of you becoming leader of the opposition after this election to join the Tories, and can you rule that out?
Oh, he's going to say the Conservatives should get 0 seats.
Boring. No, they're done. The brand's done.
Dumb and silly.
The Tories to become an MP.
I was very interesting. One of the polls at the weekend showed that 25% of 2019 Conservative voters want the party to get 0 seats.
Oh, so this is what he's referencing.
This isn't just a sort of change that happens election to election. This is a wholesale rejection by a significant number of Conservative voters who, by the way, if we weren't here, probably wouldn't vote for anybody, would stay at home. They are so disgusted with the political system. They feel absolutely betrayed by the promises that were made in 2019. The Conservative Party will not be in power for a decade, maybe more. And you know, you can say to me, well, look, they've been around for 190 years. But occasionally these big seismic shifts do happen. It happened in Britain in the 1920s. It happened in Canada in the early 1990s. I think this may well be one of those big 50 or 100-year events that happens even under first past the post politics. I mean, if we were in PR, we'd be talking a very, very different game. So
well, there you go. He's saying the Conservatives should get 0 seats.
Right. Well, that's good. That's That's actually quite a good. I like that. I like that line. 0 seats, Conservatives.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we talked about the
Hope
UK.
so.
Now we got France. For some reason, Macron called for a snap election after the disastrous EU election earlier in the week. And it looks like Le Pen's National Rally, or whatever they call themselves, what is it, Republican Rally, National Rally, are up to 32% of the vote. Far left coalition has 25, which is actually quite high, really. And Macron's party has less than 20%. So you got interesting elections in the UK and in France. I mean, the establishment parties in France, it's not just the left-wing party, not just the right-wing parties, like centre-right, centre parties. It's also like the centre-left parties have been completely replaced by like the far left, and everyone else is getting replaced by Le Pen's National Rally, which I wouldn't really call far right, but it's a sort of a step in the right direction, even though Le Pen's sort of like a bit of a sellout. But it's interesting to see these massive shifts in both countries.
Yeah, yeah. That is interesting. Hopefully, it actually gets somewhere. But yeah. I guess it is something, right? Like maybe. So what are we looking at here? We've got opinion. So 32%. How much of a difference is this?
So they got 18 in the last election, right? 18.5% in the last election. I think they got like 80 seats. So doubling their vote should make they got 89 seats. Sorry, you go.
Oh yeah, I suppose that is quite significant then. But this is their elections, not the EU. So maybe in terms of their independent states, like there is something significant happening. So maybe they were actually right to sort of soy out, as they were, and wet themselves. But yeah, sorry, you go.
I was just saying, like, yeah, so if they increase their vote from 18% to like 35, 32, like you're nearly doubling your vote, and there's a good chance you could get a near majority of the seats, because that's just the first round votes. After all the other parties are eliminated in some of these seats and the second round comes in, you may actually have like a national rally majority in parliament. They might get over half the seats. They may get over, close to 300 seats or something. So even though, National Rally, under Le Pen's sort of a bit soft compared to other, I guess you'd say, leaders in Europe in terms of her views. But at least like Le Pen they say some good stuff, like, I don't know, like illegal migrants should be deported from France. It's like, at least it's a start. Like, you don't hear that from Macron's party, but you do hear that from Le Pen. So it's a step in the right direction, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, her opening rhetoric has been pretty good. I agree with you. And that's kind of cool to see. But of course, is this another case like with Giorgia Meloni, who was full of baloney, quite frankly?
Yeah, I mean, you had the thing with Meloni, like, oh, this far-right woman leader, she's the most right-wing leader of Italy since World War II. Then she gets in and she does, like, nothing. So it might just be another one of those situations.
Yeah. Is she a WEFer as well? Let's see, Le Pen.
I'm not sure.
I know Maloney baloney is, but yeah, I can't really see anything about her being there. But anyway, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Well, it does matter, but
I mean, it sort of does matter because that's going to be
yeah.
the new prime minister. Le Pen
Oh
is
yeah.
potentially going to be the new prime minister of France under the Macron presidency. I mean, to be fair, the prime minister has way less power than the president, but I mean, it's the first time you've had a party more right wing than just the centre right parties in France get any sort of position like that. So it'll be interesting. It'll be sort of like a taste of what will happen if you ever got like a Le Pen presidency. The Le Pen prime ministership will be the sneak peek of the Le Pen presidency. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, yeah, hopefully a step in the right. I can't see anything about her being in the WEF, so I
So
don't
that's
think
a good
she.
thing. So
That is good. Yeah.
so look here's you got the projected seats, and you have National Rally projected to get 200 to 270 seats, which is like, and like pretty much that's like how much do you need for the majority? Like 200 and something.
Not sure.
260 or something like that, 270. So if they get about 270, I believe that's it. Like they've got the majority. If they get 300, they've definitely got the majority. So
Damn.
So it's like it's a pretty big shift, and you see stuff like, I don't have it on me, but there's like been polls where it's like should Muslims that commit crimes be deported from France, and like 60% of the people say yes, and that probably includes like Muslims that polled as well. So when you consider like just the Europeans, it's probably like close to 70. You got 70% of the white population in France thinking that illegal migrants should be deported, criminals should be deported. Islam isn't compatible with French culture, which is true. But it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see where it goes from there.
Yeah, because France. I don't know if any of you guys have been to France. I haven't, but
I've
know
never
a lot
been.
of people who have.
Yeah.
You have?
Oh, I haven't. I said I've never been.
Oh yeah, I have people who have, and like French are they are quite like sophisticated and cultured people. A lot of Central Europeans are, so it's just like all this. We've got Africans and like Muslims running around, and I don't know if you've seen the like videos on Telegram, but it's like that guy Martinez perspective. He shows a lot of this stuff of this just chaos that these kinds of migrants how they behave, in France and other places, and it's just like wild what these people do. And you can imagine like French people going about their day with their baguettes and
Centre
their
left, centre right
wine,
party.
and they see that, and it's just like, yeah, sacre bleu.
Yeah, well, that's the
Probably,
thing. French like are very snobbish, and that's probably like a good thing in this situation. They go,
yeah.
these unrefined Afrikaans.
That
was my French accent. It wasn't very good.
These unrefined Africans.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's like, get them
French
away from me. Get them away from my baguette. But it's like,
get away from my... Yeah, they literally need to start like carrying those swords around. Those really
the rapiers. Yeah,
the rapiers. Yeah, they need to do some rapiering, if we can say that for the AI algorithms.
But anyway, so you got a pretty seismic shift in France. I mean, we could shit on Le Pen, be like, oh, she's a sellout, but it's like, well, we'll see what happens when she actually gets into a position of power, and then we can judge from there. So I'm somewhat hopeful. I mean, I'd say Le Pen's probably better than Farage, so at least there's that.
True. Well, hopefully better than Macron. Oh, wow.
I think she's going to be better than Macron. Better than Maloney, hopefully. So we'll see what happens. Interesting things going on in France. Interesting things going on in the UK. You had the EU elections. Maybe we were a bit too negative with the EU elections. Like we were sort of like, oh, this shift should have happened, 2 decades ago. But at least it's something. So.
Yeah, EU is quite a liberal institution,
true.
as I understand. But it will be nice, and I expected more of a thing to happen. But yeah, it does seem like maybe it was more in terms of the independent countries by themselves that was going through a. But even so, I mean, these people aren't really far right, and it again comes to the question of, well, what will they really do,
Yeah,
and
that's
they're gonna
that's
have
the big question. That's the big question
yeah,
for
and
Farage, Le Pen, all these people.
and with these kind of Donald Trump kind of was the first to like kick off this whole movement around the world, right? He was the first one to kick the rugby ball through the posts, and and of course we see even today he faces all kinds of charges and litigation and just trip him up wherever. The liberal establishment or the deep state doesn't has not been successful as far as, well, they've stalled a lot of progress that could have been made. So in that sense they have, but that they haven't got them where they would, well, what they would, how they portray what they would like to do, but they probably don't even think that they can put him in jail or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I guess they are tripping him up. But I mean, yeah, I mean, how is this gonna? Maybe Europe is different. Maybe it's different. Maybe they won't have all sorts of legislative proceedings of, Le Pen threw her baguette at an African child, and Farage, with his North FC crowd, like threw
Throw a
some
beer bottle at
pints at a
someone, yeah.
kebab vendor.
Yeah.
Yeah, like something like that. But which I could foresee Farage doing. But in any case, yeah, it's I guess I get the feeling that it's sort of set in stone. The liberal kind of the the sort of liberal progressive way of doing things across the world kind of seems to be in gradual retreat.
It
Although
totally
it,
is, yeah. Well,
mm,
that's the thing, like liberal, I don't know what you call it, like liberalism, global liberalism
mm,
is delivering less and less for the average like citizen, worker,
mm,
small business owner,
yeah,
homeowner, all
yeah.
the sort of stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
benefiting less and less people.
it's the ideology of, like, plutocrats, Jewish plutocrats, and communists who are willing to carry that out, and Marxist Leninists on the right to try and to allow the left to set the goalposts while they make it
Yeah.
look like they're actually doing something.
That's been the problem in the West for the last like 50 years is letting
Yeah.
the left-wing liberals, communists, whatever you want to call them, set the goalposts, and then you have to like play the game to their standards. It's like it's good that
Mm.
that's finally we're finally shifting away from that. It may have taken half a decade too long, but at least it's finally happening.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at this rate with the demographic changes, it's kind of like we're gonna have something, I think, of a bit of a fight on our hands. Perhaps it could get pretty messy, especially with potential of World War III. How are these large groups of migrants going to be mobilized in the West as potential terror cells? What kind of events are they going to manufacture? Because if you think about it, they can get some guy to kneel on someone's neck, and they'll die of a fentanyl overdose, and then it's like the biggest news all around the world for like well over a month,
Yeah.
and like so I mean, what's gonna happen? Is that something they're gonna do? Or I mean, maybe it's pointless to think about, but it could get kind of messy. But also it's I don't want to, I feel like I'm kind of feeding fire to the accelerationists a little bit. I'm not an accelerationist. I don't believe in that at all. I think it's really silly for reasons I won't go into. But I mean, yeah, I want to say that even though there is this problem now, and maybe it's not progressing as quickly as we'd like, there is this shift happening. It is happening. A lot of people are very upset, and they want their money back, so to speak. And we don't actually need that many people to actually turn this around. If we put the right things in law, and we get the right people moving, look, there's potential for good stuff to happen. And we just got to keep feeding fire to this right wing energy, and keep the machine churning. We're seeing it in the hearts of and minds of all these young people worldwide across the West, and they're just not having it anymore. And we just need to keep it up. We just need to grow every day, and we can, we can do amazing things. We can do things. That is our legacy as Western people. That we can triumph no matter what the circumstances.
Yeah, exactly. Things are only gonna. I mean, the establishment's gonna keep getting weaker and weaker. So that's like, it's opportunity for more sort of radical, anti-globalist rhetoric to start getting into the mainstream, and a lot of our ideas to start propagating within the mainstream, which has already started to happen. So yeah, I mean, it's only a good thing if the establishment collapse and retreats and loses legitimacy. I think that's pretty much it for today. I hope everyone's found the episode interesting. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching to people that have
Do you want
participated
to play
in
those
chat.
clips quickly?
Oh, what clip?
I sent it to you on the Jitsi.
Oh, okay, sorry, I'll play it.
Yeah. That you can do the Le Pen speech first, and then the Macron one
here we
second
go.
if you
Okay,
like,
I
or
did it.
whatever you want. Yeah,
Okay, we'll do
I
that.
just thought give people a taste of.
Let's see what
some
Macron's
French.
doing. Oh,
Okay.
Le Pen, sorry.
Share your screen.
Yeah,
share
yeah,
screen.
yeah.
J'en appelle à la sagesse et au bon sens des Français. Qu'on me donne une raison, une seule, pour garder sur notre territoire des étrangers qui collaborent avec une idéologie totalitaire qui veut la mort des Français. Les binationaux en lien avec l'idéologie islamiste doivent être déchus de leur nationalité et expulsés. Les Français qui adoptent l'idéologie de l'ennemi doivent être traduits devant les tribunaux et punis.
Nice.
Les lois existent, il suffit de les appliquer. Eh bien, moi, Présidente, ces lois seront appliquées sans faiblir.
Yeah, it's good. It's good rhetoric.
It's good. It's a good rhetoric.
You can see it's mobilizing them. You can see it. This is where the energy is. Look at that.
Oh, I mean, they're literally winning in the opinion polls. They're probably going to get a majority of the seats, so it's easy to see why if you have rhetoric like that. But it'll be interesting to see what the actual actions are, because Maloney had like good rhetoric, and she got in and was like a complete like wet blanket.
Je vous le promets, la France aura pris toutes les dispositions nécessaires
Wet spaghetti, a wet noodle.
et en totale conformité avec notre état de droit. Les mosquées radicales seront fermées, les prêcheurs de haine expulsés. Les associations faunées du salafisme et des frères musulmans seront dissoutes.
Maybe all mosques
Avec
should,
moi,
maybe not just the
ayez
radical.
la certitude que les droits des femmes aujourd'hui contestés par l'obscurantisme islamiste seront garantis à toutes les femmes de France. Avec moi, la sécurité n'ira pas à l'encontre de la liberté, en tout cas de la liberté des honnêtes gens. Je veux le
It's sort of interesting. She is sort of just using like Muslims as a punching bag, which is sort of funny. That seems to be a pretty popular thing for a lot of these politicians in Europe. They just go like how like Islam isn't a part of their culture and shouldn't really exist within their countries, which is true. But I do think, a lot of the problems do go a lot deeper than that. But we'll see what happens when the National Rally actually has power in France.
Yeah, will be interesting. Because of course we have another religion of peace in the Middle East that wants precisely what she's talking about to happen, and of course we know that she's not immunized maybe against that. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So here's Macron. Alright, that was a sort of...
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
She doesn't look impressed.
Yeah, I would look impressed if I saw his polling numbers.
You
Anyway.
gotta have big polling numbers.
Oh, that's the thing. At least, like, we could say, like, Maloney's crap, which is true, but somehow, like, the party, she's, like, polling really high, and I just honestly don't even really understand it about it. Whatever. A lot of Italians seem to like her for some reason, for reasons I don't understand. But anyways, yeah, so there's Macron, there's Le Pen. We'll see what happens in the next month when the French and British elections happen. The Austrian elections will be happening in a few months. That's also one of the other European countries where the more right-wing party is overtaken the centre-left and the centre-right party. So Austria, France, all elections to look out for. I think the Austrian Freedom Party, which is sort of their right-wing party, has like said similar rhetoric that they want to like redeport like fake refugees and criminal migrants and stuff like that. So steps in the right direction. We'll see what goes on with Austria. Maybe we're going to have another epic leader from Austria rise up, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we need like a deportation crypto coin, like to get like encourage people to like. We need our own like ICE or something for Europe, where they just like catapult migrants back to some miscellaneous place in Africa.
You see, the Israelis built a catapult and they were like launching like piles of garbage into like Lebanon. It was pretty strange. Maybe we should just do that, but instead of launching garbage, like launch migrant criminals or something.
Yeah, directly to Israel. Yeah.
Directly to Israel. Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, okay, that's it for today. There's all the elections. Interesting things are happening. We've got the Maori parliaments in New Zealand. We've got the French and UK elections. We've got the Austrian elections in the next couple of months. We'll see what happens there. Hope everyone's had a great day, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for watching, and thanks for watching the replay to the Replay Gang.
Take care, everybody.
Take care. Stay blessed, not stressed.